As has been reported, Rhonda Shear apparently interrupted her trek east in order to find her roots in the small Texas town of Grapevine. She celebrated the event with a press conference in front of the Grand Opry, home to some of her greatest triumphs. As the throngs gathered to greet Miss Shear, this was the scene earlier today.
It's so great to be here at the Grand Opry in Grapevine, Texas. Thank you all so much for coming here today to help me find my lost relatives. This has always been a great town, a wonderful town, a great state. Thank you so much. I'm honored and privileged to be amongst all of you. Now, are there any questions from the press? Any questions?
Sir, Denny's around here?
Maybe not the hype that she expected, but at least she was asked a question and she didn't get towed again. To a woman searching for a family that specializes in hiding, that spells victory. From Grapevine, Texas, I'm Jeb Morris.
You come to see me in my little calaboose. Your favorite niece, Rhonda.
Now over to Jeb Morris.
Welcome back to the Grand Opry in Grapevine, Texas, where Rhonda Shear has just begun Act 9 of Pussy Galore, The Life and Times of Siegfried and Roy, a play that originally featured real house cats, until Rhonda discovered that real cats aren't reusable. At this point in the story, the boys hit the road for fame and fortune as the tiger heads off to a baggage claim area in a different airport. I'm Jeb Morris in Grapevine, Texas.
This has been a The Rhonda Watch.
Welcome back to the Grand Opry in Grapevine, Texas. Here, Rhonda Shear continues her masterful performance of Pussy Galore, The Life and Times of Siegfried and Roy. At this point, Roy attempts to cheer up a suicidal tiger by tap dancing. Those of you who remember this real event should really think about getting out a little more. I'm Jeb Morris from Grapevine, Texas.
This is a special bulletin from USA Up All News. The Rhonda Watch.
We're back at the Opry in Grapevine, where Rhonda Shear is wowing the house with an exciting program of interpretive shadow dancing. Either that or our cameraman is passed out and Rhonda is just to the right, out of frame. We now return you to USA Up All Night and its regularly scheduled feature, Party Incorporated.
This has been a USA Up All...
Enjoying Rhonda Shear's one-woman tribute, Pussy Galore, The Life and Times of Siegfried and Roy. And here's an interesting side note. The original production also featured a live but underfed Bengal tiger. Current litigation prevents any further discussion other than sincere apologies to the Shipman family. From Grapevine, Texas, I'm Jeb Morris.
This is The Rhonda Watch.
We're still here in Grapevine, Texas, enjoying Rhonda Shear's one-woman tribute, Pussy Galore, The Life and Times of Siegfried and Roy. As Act 12 opens, the brothers' constant bickering has led the tiger to give 2 weeks' notice and find work with Gunther Gable Williams. Here, Siegfried makes an attempt at tough love, while an angry tiger is about to go off his vegetarian diet. From Grapevine, I'm Jeb Morris.
Just go, get out of...
News. The Rhonda Watch.
Yes, we're still here at the Grapevine Grand Opry, where Rhonda Shear is performing her heart out to a packed aisle seat. A virtual titan on stage, Shear's a ball of fire ever since her afternoon stroll through town earlier today. Rhonda had her afternoon siesta in her favorite childhood playground, the town hearse. It was here that as a child, Rhonda spent carefree hours hiding, playing, and climbing under corpses, making them wave to local officials on the way to the cemetery. Shear then used her own camera to capture the emotional reunion with the two locals that raised her after she was left in the woods as an infant. Two angry Scotties. Although now senile, the two angry Scotties responded to their adopted daughter by barking a lot and sniffing each other till they collapsed from exhaustion. The same life skills that Shear herself has used from time to time. And then it was off to the woodcarver for another yearly installment of her life sculpture. Commissioned by Rhonda 10 years ago, the carver has been working non-stop since, as a plumber. However, the down-and-dirty Rhonda knockoffs he does make seem to move briskly in a market starved for doorstoppers. Of course, the one place she avoided completely was the gazebo. As Grapevine's first performance artist, Rhonda once used the gazebo extensively. One day, while biting the head off of yet another squirrel, nature fought back. What followed next was a blur. Finally, Shear decided to treat herself to the breakdown she so desperately deserved by reliving her days as hostess at Sweet Willie's Cajun Kitchen. A popular Grapevine hotspot, it inexplicably vanished one night. Officials would only say that it got bored and imploded, while Shear believes it was abducted by aliens. Either way, she wasn't getting her fair share of tips. From Grapevine, Texas, I'm Jeb Morris.
This has been a UN News. The Rhonda Watch, tracing the delusional movements of Rhonda Shear's cross-country trek to New York City. Now over to Jeb Morris in Grapevine, Texas.
We're here in the Grapevine Grand Opry, a theater with a history of adventurous entertainment and unread eviction notices. We're witnessing a legend in the making as Rhonda Shear mounts her one-woman play, Pussy Galore, The Life and Times of Siegfried and Roy. And here in Act 13 is a reenactment of Roy trying to lure an elephant into the act, and in a surprise twist, the tiger luring the elephant into some farm machinery. From Grapevine, I'm Jeb Morris.
This has been a
It's been hours now since Rhonda showed up in Grapevine. Anonymous tips have proved frustratingly vague, and the effort to meet up with a relative in Grapevine that will actually be seen with Rhonda is difficult. Fruitless hours of searching only turn up an old lover of Rhonda's. Now an employee at an Indian jewelry store, the meeting is tense.
Okay, you know, when we were in the movie theater and I walked out, I really wanted to come back. But the guy at the popcorn counter was just so cute, and he had the cutest Corvette. I'm really sorry. Do you understand? I mean, it's been a long time, and I didn't know you were going to die, and they were going to stuff you and leave you like this. I mean, I never would have done that to you. Never. I mean, if you died so young. Talk to me, Keith. Talk to me. Do something. Smile. All right? You don't want to respond? You don't want to respond? I didn't mean to leave you that way. I didn't mean to walk out on you at that movie theater. You were a fabulous boyfriend. You gave and gave and gave, and I took and took and took, and I was wrong, but that other guy had the best Corvette in the whole world. I mean, it was cool, it was convertible, it was red, but he wasn't anything like you, Keith. As a matter of fact, even though you're dead, you're just as stiff as you always were. Firm. Well, Keith, you always had money on you. I appreciate it. I'm gonna catch a taxi home. Love you.
And as fate raises its erratic hand and slaps another sap into reality, Rhonda moves off to complete her mission in Grapevine, leaving yet another victim of love in her wake. Unable to think, unable to move, unable to love. Why? Because he's dead. But at least he's working.
Rhonda Watch, tracing the delusional movements of Rhonda Shear's cross-country trek to New York City. Now over to Jeb Morris in Grapevine, Texas.
We're here in the Grapevine Grand Opry, and we're being blessed by a performance that shook the world when it first appeared in a packed Pizza Hut off Broadway. It's Rhonda Shear in her one-woman, one-stuffed animal play, Pussy Galore, The Life and Times of Siegfried and Roy. This is the show's finale, and everyone is happy. For a lot of reasons. I'm Jeb Morris from Grapevine, Texas.
This is delusional movements of Rhonda Shear's cross-country trek to New York City. Now over to Jeb Morris in Grapevine, Texas.
We're back at the Grapevine Grand Opry, where Rhonda Shear has just finished all 14 acts of her play, Pussy Galore, The Life and Times of Siegfried and Roy, to a thunderous ovation. She's currently enthralling...